We didn't call it to order yet. We call this meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hallelujah, brother, you're on your own. Yeah. Oh, she broke her glasses already, see? Can't see.
Okay.
Need a screwdriver?
Roll call, please.
Mayor Orr,
Here.
Councilman Baker,
Here.
Councilman Martinez.
Sometimes I wish I was here.
Did you answer?
Oh, here.
Okay, yeah. Councilman Upton,
Here.
Councilman Edwards,
Here.
Councilwoman Henninger, here, and Councilman Crack. Did you say wish it was?
Okay. Approval of the minutes of the regular meeting for March 16th, 2015.
I'll make the motion that we approve the minutes of March 16th, 2015 as presented.
Second.
Who was the second?
I'll take it.
Upton. Okay. Visitors.
Baker,
Oh, wait.
Oh, roll call.
Baker,
Aye.
Upton,
Aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
Villagrana, Henninger, Edwards,
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
They were gonna have, huh?
Now we go to visitors.
Who's?
A new introduction of a new CRCA director.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to introduce everybody to the board's selection of the new Combined Regional Dispatch Center's director, Chris Meredith. He comes with a lot of experience from the Colorado State Patrol. He was in charge of one of his many duties over the years was in charge of the communications sector. So I'm going to let Chris tell a little bit himself. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask.
Could you repeat his name, please?
My name is Chris Meredith.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just want to take the opportunity to come down and allow you to put a face with a name. And so as we continue forward with the Communication Center project, if you have concerns or thoughts or other communication for me, that at the very least you'd be able to think about who it is you're talking to. I'm always happy to come out and visit, especially with the various partners of the Communication Center, to make sure that not only do they communicate well, but that we communicate well back and forth with all of our partners. A little about me. I'm retired with Colorado State Patrol, spent 27 years with them. This was a great opportunity for me to relocate my family back down to rural Colorado. My daughter had just recently been promoted to sergeant. She's with the State Patrol and assigned down here next door. And so when this opportunity came along, I thought this was just everything I needed to be able to re-energize not only myself with a direction and being part of something larger than myself, but also to be able to assist the community and do some of the things I've been so passionate about, and that is service to the community and public safety. So with that, I'd be happy to take any questions that anyone might have. Otherwise, I do appreciate the opportunity to come down here and work for all of you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you very much.
Any questions from council? Okay.
Very
Thank you.
Good evening.
I think is check with Chris, but I think we're still online. We got a few glitches worked up. We're still in the July 1st area.
Still shooting for
July 1st for opening. So that's still good news. Thank you.
Yeah. So what's that in there? For the unfinished business?
You have another visitor?
We have another visitor, I think.
Oh, do we? Who?
Barb?
That lady down there.
Okay.
She didn't come forward.
Please come up and say your name and state your address.
My name is Barbara Gonzalez, and I reside at 404 Tanner Avenue, here in Florence. A year ago tomorrow, I was released from Parkview Hospital following 16 days of hospitalization with complete respiratory failure. Yesterday, I had to call the police department for at least the 4th time regarding individuals at the corner of Florence and 5th Street burning their trash. This is an ongoing problem at that address. That complicates my ability to breathe tremendously. I don't like being hooked up to this apparatus. I resent it, and I resent the fact that when I called yesterday, the dispatcher told me they would send someone right over. My husband and I sat on the front porch for an hour and a half and never saw a policeman once. I have complained to the city manager at least once about this, and I hope he remembers what I told him the last time. That if you guys cannot or will not enforce the ordinance against trash burning, then I have no recourse but to contact the EPA and tell them you will not enforce the Clean Air Act.
How long after was it that the police responded after you called?
They didn't.
Oh, they did. Okay. And you have talked to our city manager about this?
Yes?
Okay. All right. Is the police chief here?
He just went out.
He just left, I assume he went over to dispatch to find out what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'd like to hear from his side of the story, and
I'd like to hear his side of the
Yeah.
story.
so if he gets back, Mr. Edwards?
Mr. I wasn't aware of an ordinance. I know that you can burn weeds and stuff. Is there a trash burning ordinance in place?
It's the EPA regulations, there's no open burns. A lot of times they'll allow for an agricultural burn as long as the fire department's been notified. But if you're burning trash, it is a violation of the EPA.
Yes, it
It's
is.
an EPA rule.
You know, the other thing I discovered was that the fire department does not have to be notified, that the dispatch center can give permission to burn trash.
Not burn
Not
trash.
Not trash.
Only an agricultural burn is allowed.
Well,
Burning
I-
trash.
Limbs and-
I mean, I got told that by the dispatchers that they were the ones that gave permission.
But we
Simply
really need
because
the
the fire
police chief
department's
in
not
here
on
then.
duty on
And we
the
need to make
weekends.
sure they understand there's no burning of trash. It's only for agricultural burns.
And doesn't a controlled burn at that have to be called in?
It should be, and that's it.
Permitted, doesn't it?
So that if there's a fire call, then they can tell that, yes, we are aware there's a controlled burn in that area, and not call the fire department for every whiff of smoke when someone is burning ditches to, start water for the,
Is it trash that he's burning, or?
Yes,
is
you can smell it.
leaves?
you can tell.
You can smell it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a distinctive odor.
Okay, well, I wish we had our police chief here. I'd get some answers for you real quick and see.
But I assume he'll be back in just a minute.
Right.
We'll be able to find out what is an ordinance that affects safety.
Yeah.
And yesterday, we were under a high fire danger all over southern Colorado. It's not just the trash burning. One ember off in Willowbrook, you've lost an entire subdivision. Your pockets are deeper than that homeowner's.
So how often does this happen?
At least once every other week.
And he's burning you think he's burning like household trash?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mayor, I don't know how old you are, but I remember back in the day when you could burn trash.
Yeah,
It's
I
got a
remember it
very
being so long.
distinctive odor to it.
Yeah, and the incinerators out back of your house?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is exactly, it's very reminiscent of my childhood, being able to smell that trash being burned.
Yeah, we used to, I remember it because we used to put paint cans where they explode.
Yes.
That was the entertainment.
Yes.
That one
I-
was oil-based paint.
Okay.
I really don't want to have to call the EPA.
Yeah, and we
But
don't want you either.
I
So
will.
let's see if we can resolve this by getting some answers from the police chief.
Please.
And if we can't, then we dang sure will.
Thank you.
Guarantee ya.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I'll be waiting.
Okay, till he gets back, do we have any other visitors out there? No one? Anybody's afraid to come up?
Here's the question.
There he is. Could I have you up there, talk to us about this? Okay, she says it happens every other week. Last time she called, the police didn't even show up.
Well, she just said that now, and there's a policeman who was there who got out on foot and walked and spent quite a bit of time there. He actually says they walked the alley, they walked the front of the property. 5th and Florence doesn't meet. Florence dead ends at 4th, then it goes into a private drive. 5th ends off of Tanner, off Her Street. There's a big field, and I believe by Mr. Upton's house there. So, but the officer, the call was received, they dispatched an officer, they walked around up and down the alley, front part of the street, not seeing or smelling any smoke, including barbecue is what they said. This is the first time I've heard of the complaint or the call. They should call me, you should call me if you don't get the satisfaction that you get or you don't get the service you think you're getting. We'll look it up and we'll research it. And if you have a specific house you think it's coming from, let us know. We'll go right there. But the officer was there, and she spent, it was a sergeant who went there yesterday. You called in at 5:52 p.m. She cleared at 6:02, almost 6:03, 6:02:56. So she was there for quite a while looking. And they dispatched her to 5th and Florence, and she states they don't meet, so she went to 4th and Florence. So,
No, it wasn't at 4th and Florence.
okay, well, 5th and Florence doesn't meet. It's a field.
Is it the apple orchard property, Barbara?
Do you know who's
Okay, we
doing
know-
it? Do you know who's doing it? We'll
we
go
know
right
who
to the
it is.
house, and we'll,
We
you know,
know.
and if you have a specific,
You're
we'll,
welcome to follow me home, Chief.
okay. I will have that same officer who was there yesterday follow you home. I'll have her meet us right here in the parking lot.
And I
And
want you to get his personal card and
And I'll
call
give you
him
my
on
cell
his
phone number.
cell.
You know
See
me,
ya.
I've known you for years, and we will handle it. If we got a
You'll take care of it.
specific place, we'd rather go address the issue right away than to have this problem where you don't think we're coming out when we are. I don't want you to feel that way. It's documented. And I trust this officer 110%, that they went there and looked.
Barbara, maybe
They
off,
may have gone and looked, but they're looking in the wrong place.
Barbara, off the record, maybe you could tell him whose property it is. He'll know.
I've got my phone. We'll walk out here with you, and I'll call her and meet us there, and then you could tell me off the record, and we'll take care of it, Barbara.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. While we're still on record on this, does that fall within the city limits?
Dory's saying it's in the county.
It's in the county. It still needs to be dealt with, but it is not city, it's not the city limits.
But Rick, if the house that she's talking about, is that in this?
It's in the county.
That's in the county too? Okay.
Okay. So we're done with visitors now?
I guess.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll move on to unfinished business. And, let's see, we got the Chamber of Commerce. You want to talk on this?
Yeah, Chamber of Commerce, we had a request from the Chamber of Commerce that you table this. They indefinitely, and they will bring it back, get us the maps, et cetera. They just have some questions. They want to meet with us to figure out exactly what it is that council wants. So we're asking you to table this indefinitely. It's not until September, so we'll bring it back in all likelihood in May to get it finalized.
Then I will make a motion that we table the Chamber of Commerce request for street closure Santa Fe from Main Street to 2nd Street, September 18th and 19th. Main Street from Church Street to Petroleum on October 31st indefinitely.
Second.
We have a first and second roll call, please.
Chiligrana.
Aye.
Henninger.
Aye.
Edwards.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
Upton.
Aye.
Mayor Orr. 7 ayes.
Okay, next is the pay request number 9 and number 10 for Mulch Construction for West Tank Booster Pump Station project. Billy's gonna come up.
My name's Bill Byler. My address is 1549 Chestnut. I live in Canyon City.
And you what?
I'm the water superintendent for the city. I would like to request the city to pay mulch for number 9 and number 10 request for the tank and the booster pump station on this project.
And what was hurting is currently fixed, right?
Yeah, we had an issue with the tank. It was leaking, but they've got it fixed. We've got it full now. We'll be ready to put it in service tomorrow.
So it's completely done, right?
They have a few other things to do on it, but there's still some retainage there that the city holds.
Okay.
But they've got it 90% completed.
Okay.
Bill, was this work all done to your satisfaction and up to where you think it's up to standards?
Yes, Sarah, it is.
I need to know.
Then I make a motion.
We have another question.
One question.
Sorry.
In the next paragraph, it says that there may be one more payment on this, on the west tank, or is this the last one that you're,
No, there should be some more money owed
okay.
to them to retain until they
There'll be one more
finish.
pay request
One more
and then the retainage after it's advertised.
So that'll take care of it, next
Yeah.
payment?
Okay, then let's do it.
Let's go.
I make a motion that we authorize pay request number 9, number 10 to Maltz Construction for East Tank and West Tank Booster Pump Station projects.
Second.
Can you state the total of all the pay requests?
Yeah,
It's
the
200.
amount of $249,656.79.
Second that.
Okay, we have a first and second. Roll call, please.
Is that?
Lograna,
We'll send that
It's down
correction.
here.
Figure was.
that's a correct figure.
That's the correct figure.
Martinez,
Aye.
Upton,
Aye.
Edwards,
Aye.
Henninger, Baker,
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Aye.
I'm at the wrong
Seven.
Yeah.
Okay, new business. Authorization for the mayor to sign the community assessment.
Good evening. Oh, sorry.
That's gonna be, wait,
Good evening. Mike gave me, the staff meeting today, gave me a minute to cover this, so we can see what I can do. In November, you had Downtown Colorado Inc. come, Catherine Carell and Christy Culp from DOLA come and talk about what a good thing that downtown assessments are, Main Street assessments, and kind of organizing your downtown and look at what you're doing well, look at what you could do, and then how it can set you up for grants and advertising and things like that later. Council directed me to go out and figure out a way to do this and find a way to pay for it. We went to the Department of Local Affairs. They have an ongoing planning grant, and so we received a planning grant. We received our approval from DOLA. This is the agreement with Downtown Colorado Inc. to basically sign the agreement to do this Main Street assessment, which will happen on May 11th and 12th. As soon as we sign this agreement, they'll get their team together, and then they'll come up with the agenda, and they have small breakout meetings with people as well as some larger public meetings. So this is the agreement. Downtown Colorado Inc. will actually conduct this Main Street assessment.
Did you say the grant covers the cost of this?
Yep.
Good.
So it's a 50-50 grant. We put in some money, DOLA puts in some money, and then we do this assessment and close it out. So it's a pretty simple project. 18,000, yeah.
Our share is
9.
16,000.
It's 9 and 9. It's 18, right? So it's 9 and 9. It's 50%. And there might be a way we can save on some of the expenses. There's 2,000 expenses that we just budget for, but if we get creative, we might be able to knock that down a little bit. But the project's budget is for 18.
You just have two different groups here. Who are the stakeholders and who are the focus groups?
We get their team and we work that out. Once we have to sign an agreement, then we're kind of under contract with them, so we'll find out right
That'll
away.
determine who's working with them.
But generally, like, they'll have a couple of meetings with a lot of people, open meetings, and then they'll have small groups with elected officials, merchants, and other people anything that's to do with transportation and downtown development.
any other questions for Wade?
This is the first step if we want to eventually become a Main Street community. Some places like that, nomination, some places don't, but this is kind of the first step. If we do this, we kind of move along the path of eventually becoming a Main Street community, which gets us maybe a little bit more recognition around the state and nation.
Okay. It's a good start. Okay, Mr. Edwards?
Mr. Mayor, I'd move to approve the authorization for the mayor to sign community assessment agreement.
I'll second it.
We have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Edwards.
Aye.
Upton.
Yes.
Martinez.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Henninger.
Aye.
Billy Grana.
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Okay, next, the mayoral appointment to the planning commission, term to expire 12/31/2019. I've read over these letters, done a lot of thought about this, and I don't know if you've read any of the letters in your packet. And I'd like to have both candidates up here to speak to us, if they could. Let's start with Patricia Smith. And I think we've seen you once before up here a while back.
A little while ago.
Just give your name and address and give us a little background about you.
My name is Pat Smith, and I live at 576 Brookway. I've been a member of the community for 15 years. I work in the assessor's office as a mapping tech. I've been there for 14 years, almost. And I would just like to be a part of the community and have a voice in some of the planning.
Okay, any questions for Patricia?
I just have, well, last time you was here, you said you would have trouble making day meetings, is that correct?
That's right, I'm still working 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. So I have off Friday and every night.
So if
Does
Planning commission.
planning commission only needs
Meets
at
at night.
nighttime, as they say?
yeah, I mean, I just want to make sure that, that it hasn't changed.
Nope,
Thank you for applying.
thank you. My pleasure.
Any other questions for her? Okay. All right, thank you,
You're
Patricia.
welcome. Thank you for your consideration.
Okay. Next, we got Scott McMillan.
Not here. He's not present. He's not here.
Okay. Well, after reading both letters and everything and looking it over, I am gonna appoint Patricia E. Smith to the planning commission board. Okay. We don't have to.
Tell her when her next meeting. Yeah, tell her.
Yeah,
It would be May 14th.
She'll get notifications.
Yeah, yes, the week before.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, I can reach out to the other candidate, invited to be part of the master plan process that's going on now. There'll be a lot of need for other people to give feedback on that, because we got 2 strong applications.
Sure. Okay, we took care of that. Okay, moving on. Request for the purchase of mowers.
I think that's
Mowers or mower?
mower.
It says mowers.
Mowers, yeah. It's one mower, as you guys seen in the packet. Our mower in the parks is aging, is 10 years old right now. And for the simple discussion and reliability, my recommendation would be the Toro Commercial 6-inch. It's actually 8 inches bigger than what we have now. And the reliability of what we had out of the older mower to go with the Toro would be much more, my recommendations would be the Toro. This is also a budgeted item.
Yeah. And I agree with you that you probably, I know you knew that because I seen the wheels fall off of it last year.
But yeah, and parts and stuff like that is really getting hard to come by. And just the sheer reliability of the Toro.
I agree, but the problem I have, to tell you the truth, Sam, is I'd rather keep the money going to someone here in Florence, the True Value, than I would taking it to Pueblo West.
Well, I understand that, yeah, and we bought the Fast Tracks from True Value up here 2 and 3 years ago for the cemetery, and the hydrostatic motors are seeing issues right now, and they're $1,133 a piece, and there's 2 per mower. And you can't buy the seal. They're 1 unit.
So are you saying that the one that True Value quoted you isn't a very good mower?
For our Husqvarna?
Yeah.
No, sir.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll go along with Sam with the equipment they've been using. This been a pretty good mower. With never have any problem getting parts or nothing.
No, we haven't had any. This far
For
the Toro right now, for the one we received right now. And I understand. I would love to keep it local too myself.
So would I.
I just got a problem with sending our money to Pueblo West.
I understand.
Like I said, I wouldn't want to see it break down and get hard to get parts for that mower.
But it's just so much reliability, and we've dealt. The Walkers is the same thing. They're the equivalent for the Fast Tracks, and the Husqvarnas are just as equivalent for the Fast Tracks. And 2 or 3, 4 years down the road, spending X amount of dollars for machinery just don't make sense.
And is there warranties on these mowers for that kind of price? Mm-hmm. And what's the difference in between the two?
They're the same, 3-year warranties.
Well, 3-year warranties. But Toros, we've had a lot of Toro mowers that have lasted a lot of years.
Yeah. We've had this one for 10 years.
Yeah, they're very good.
At the cemetery, and now the cemetery, the Fast Tracks and Husqvarnas are starting to, if you will, nickel and dime us to death.
But if we get the one from True Value, it wouldn't last very long, right? What'd you think?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, it would last, but
10 years, maybe?
They're going to start nickel and diming you to death.
We don't want to do that.
That's what I'm trying to avoid.
We're just trying to save the city money.
Well, my biggest thing is to try to keep the money in Florence. Instead
Yes,
that's
what I understand totally.
Well, any other questions for Sam?
Unless you guys want to go.
So Toro would be more like a commercial quality versus upper level.
They're all commercial qualities. It's just what we experienced in the past with the Fast Tracks and the Husqvarna, the Walkers. They are just not very reliable. I mean, they will do the job. But in future years, you're going to start. I've seen it. We're going to start nickel and diming ourselves to death in these type mowers. Where the Toros has a great reputation, what I've seen for reliability, parts, service. That would be my recommendation.
I agree.
Council, any other comments, Larry?
No, I was going to make a motion.
Any other comments from anyone down there? Yeah, Mr. Edwards.
I'm torn on this because I support local business 100%, and I wish I was an expert on mowers so I'd help make decisions, but I have to listen, to Sam. He's the one using it and has the experience. But I just, whatever the outcome, I just want everybody to know. It's a hard one because I believe in that local business.
I'm for it too.
So do I.
Yeah.
I just pulled it up real quick on the internet here, and actually what they're saying on the internet seems to not completely on the same page as Sam in terms of comparing the two. Well, a whole bunch of products. the Husqvarna is actually rated higher than the Toro on some of this. So I don't know. I mean, I know it's just the internet, but
his experience with them, I think, is valuable.
actually the Kubota is rated higher than any of them.
Well, in the long run, it would probably be cheaper to go with the better quality.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
You know, I can bring the numbers back to you for what needs to be repaired and what we repaired upon the other mowers.
And that's a lot of money, $11,200.
$8,500,
It's, with none of us being able to research or anything like that, I guess we'll have to just, how's the rest of you feel? Do you want to wait a while, or do you want to go ahead and pass the?
Well, I don't think the recommendation is going to change in 2
Yeah,
weeks.
but we could research it, is what I'm saying. Research and find out.
We do need, we're gonna need mower. Let's get with the project.
You guys seen it out front today, the old one.
And, so,
But the wheels were still on it.
Maybe next week.
The wheels are on it, yeah. I mean, they're very reliable mowers.
Maybe David is just tighten them up.
Is there a way we can check with True Value to see if maybe they'll give us an extended warranty on that Husqvarna?
That could be ideal.
I mean, if they can throw in an extended warranty to cover it a little bit longer. that
Is
would-
this from the True Value up there, or the True Value down here?
It's down here.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, to answer her question on extended warranty, it wouldn't fall upon the True Value itself, but the manufacturer does
He can't
provide
do anything
an
different.
extended warranty after.
not necessarily, because
You have to
other
buy
light
it.
cars, do they sell the extended warranties or not? I don't know that about lawnmowers or not.
I mean,
It
they
would
gave
cost
you a
us.
good
Yeah,
price.
it would cost us.
It was
It
under.
would cost
Well,
us to do
what the mayor's
extended.
saying is make them pay for it.
You know, I think I'd kind of like to know, Sam, I respect your judgment quite a bit, but I still would like to know, I'm kind of like the mayor, I'd like to see the money stay in Florence.
Sure.
And I would kind of like to know, okay, let's say it goes 3 years, 3 years, then you have to replace whatever part.
Sure.
I'd kind of like to know what the cost of that would be
Okay.
in turn to see if it would equal out, you know, what Toro would be.
Sure, I understand. Yep.
You know,
I can do that.
I just don't want to be put into a position that,
I can't believe they gotta take a recommendation.
I'm sliding on merchants, let's put it that way.
Yeah, no, I totally understand.
Can I say something, please? Has anybody asked Jim if he can order a Toro even though he
They
carries
don't deal.
Husqvarna?
No, they're just doing the Husqvarna.
They don't deal with
Can't do
Toro.
it?
Yeah, I bet. I've talked to him about chainsaws before. Different one, he says, no, we're just doing Husqvarna now.
Might get our wrist by far, but,
Sure, yeah, no, I understand totally. I just presented these numbers and I've had a lot of luck with the Toros.
But have you ever tried the Husqvarna out for a long term to see if it,
No, I have not.
okay. To see if it has the dependability maybe. And are you still Googling?
Is it the basketball game?
Somebody make a motion then.
So we want to make a motion?
No, it's not basketball.
No, he's doing lawnmowers. I said it's a-
He's watching the game.
Watching the game.
Mr. Edwards?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move for the request of the purchase of a mower and award the bid to True Value Hardware, the Husqvarna 60-inch deck at $11,194.87.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and second. Roll call.
Edwards?
Aye.
Henninger?
Aye.
Villagrana?
Aye.
Upton?
Aye.
Martinez?
No.
Baker?
No.
And Mayor Orr?
Aye.
5 ayes, 2 nays.
We got your mower.
Give that a try, and if it falls, and you can come back and blame all us.
Can't blame me.
There's no blame or
Go
nothing
park
like
it,
that.
go park it on his
Just-
doorstep.
Write that down.
Okay.
You can blame it
See if I
on
can get
us.
a Toro.
We're gonna be keeping a close eye on it.
Okay, we'll do so.
Bad
Thank you all.
They wanted to read it. She asked to have it read.
All right, we can,
Yeah.
we can be,
No way. Are you gonna take one of these?
Sure, whatever you want me to read, I'll read.
I'd like to read
go to the game.
Yeah, where's the other one? Okay. Mayor's report. I got one more than two. I got a bunch of documents to read. Okay, this is from Custer County Commissioners. Well, actually, it's addressed to you, I think,
You want me to read it?
Yeah, I'll take this one and you take that one, and then I got another one here.
Okay, this one says, it's addressed to myself and Police Chief Mike De Laurentiis. Dear Mr. Patterson and Chief De Laurentiis, this correspondence is to express the deep appreciation of the Board of Custer County Commissioners for your very kind contribution of the safety gauges for our county patrol vehicles. The Custer County Sheriff's Office provides the county with a valuable service, and the Board of County Commissioners recognizes and appreciates the contributions made to our county, our community, and our citizens. The sheriff and deputies are often required to transport individuals in the patrol vehicles. The installation of these separation cages in the patrol vehicle will offer our sheriff and our deputies the additional security necessary to complete their duties and responsibilities in a safe and reliable manner. Once again, thank you for your generous contribution and donation to Custer County. Sincerely, Christopher Schy, Chairman, Lynn Atterbury, Vice Chair, and Bob Katnick, Commissioner of Custer County. And Chief's not in here right now, I don't, oh, there he is, okay. Do you want to explain what these cages were real fast? And why we had extra ones? Because for those of you who know me, I don't like to give anything away. So just please explain why it was actually good to give it away.
We had received property, I'm a hoarder, basically. No, we had received property from other police departments and traded with minor stuff. So we had extra cages, and many of them were received from Fort Carson Police Department, who's getting rid of a lot of their stuff. They're going to throw it out. We took it, retrofit some to our cars that didn't have any, and the ones that were left over have been sitting downstairs for probably 2 to 3 years since I took over. Custer County, when the new sheriff took over, they had none of their squad cars had cages. They were seat belting people in next to the deputy going to the jail. So we had the extra equipment, and Fort Carson, some of the other police departments like State Patrol, when we get stuff, they say if you can't use it, pass it on. So that's what we did. We passed it on like they gave it to us. We didn't have any use for it. We passed it on to another police department for good use, and that's how I saw it. In Custer County, we actually traded that pickup and that we got for nothing and with their Charger, and that had a cage in it, so they were very thankful. So it's worked out very well for them and even better for us, I believe.
It's nice to share. Okay, next one I'm going to read is the National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, which is April 12th through the 18th, 2015. Whereas dedicated public safety communication officers serve the citizens of Colorado by answering their requests to law enforcement, fire, or emergency medical service. And whereas the public safety communication officer is the first link between the citizen and the emergency responder. And whereas the safety of both citizens and emergency responders is dependent upon the highly trained and skilled public safety communication officer. And whereas the role of public safety communication officers play in ensuring public safety occurs behind the scenes and is seldom recognized. And whereas public safety communication officers serving the city of Florence have exhibited professionalism, efficiency, and compassion during the performance of their essential duties in the past. and whereas the Association of Public Communication Officers has designated the second week in April to recognize public safety telecommunication. Better be resolved that I, Keith Orr, Mayor of the City of Florence, declare the week of April 12th through the 18th, 2015 as Colorado Public Safety Telecommunications Week in honor of the men and women of Colorado who play a critical role in the protection and the preservation of life and property. Do you want to read this one?
I do it as well.
I'm out of breath.
Okay, this is the proclamation on Arbor Day 2015. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of our businesses, our business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas the city of Florence has been recognized as Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation and desires to continue its tree planting ways, now therefore he, Keith Orr, Mayor of the City of Florence, does hereby proclaim April 24th, 2015 as Arbor Day in the City of Florence. And he urges all citizens to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands, to support the city's forestry program. Further, he urges all citizens to plant trees to gladden hearts and promote the well-being of present and future generations. Given under his hand the seal of the City of Florence, Colorado, this 6th day of April, 2015.
And how many years will that make now? 31? Dory?
For Arbor Day, you mean?
Yeah.
Somebody look at the wall back there.
How many does it make on the wall back there now?
31.
Hey, that's pretty good, 31. Good deal.
For Tree City.
Yeah, for Tree City USA.
1985 through...
Yeah.
Could ask Bill, I bet you it was 30.
31.
So everybody plant a tree. And there's a few of them we need to get rid of, but plant a new one. Okay, Finance Officer's report.
The only thing I need is, I need new signators on the bank accounts.
Who is?
Right now, it's you and Larry.
And Svetlana.
And Svetlana is off because she's no longer, and then Mike and Dory. We just need to come up with one more person, and I believe Paul was...
Because he's more available.
Going with availability.
Yeah.
Paul has volunteered to take on that responsibility.
Is that all right with the rest of you?
Yeah.
Or do you want to have a joust for it?
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe a background investigation, possibly.
Criminal.
Or you can change it
I would
to
endorse
anybody you want,
Councilman
as long as they're available.
I would also, for myself, I run into the problems when there's no one around trying to get checks because right now we have it where it's a council and a staff. Larry's always been available and so are you, Keith, but Mike is a hard one and Dory's been out.
So it's been difficult.
So I've really struggled trying to get that other signature.
And that's why I recommend that Mike and I stay on, but that Mary needs to be added.
And then
So
she-
in a case of where we
added.
don't have two staff or a staff available.
As well as I
She
would
could
never,
A certain amount.
I would also never do payroll since
We
I
want
do payroll.
three staff and three councils, so it's
Okay.
always a council and staff.
So is everybody all right with
It
doing
has to
Paul
be-
without a background check?
For the bank, we need to do a bank resolution,
Yeah.
so they need
Still
at
say we
least the
need a
minutes that you
background
voted that
check.
so-and-so is going to be the signatures for the city accounts.
Okay.
So we need a motion.
Okay. Need a motion.
We need a motion.
Motion?
I'll make a motion
Okay.
that we add Paul Villagrana as a council member and our finance officer, Mary, as a staff employee to the signature cards for the Rocky Mountain Bank.
Just state all the signatures,
Yeah, we need,
so that they know that
well,
there's,
he's doing
we
it
have to
himself.
know all of them.
Oh.
So you have to state all of them in your
Okay.
motion.
And at this time, it is myself, the mayor, and Mike Patterson, and Dory.
And then add Mary and
And
Paul.
add Mary.
Okay,
And Paul.
And Paul.
Okay.
okay. And a
Are
second?
we good to go?
A second?
I think.
Do we have a second? No?
Second.
Someone second.
All I had seen is head shaking like this.
that was going like this.
All right, let's go. Get it on.
Now can we vote?
Fun score.
Yes.
Baker?
Aye.
Henninger?
Aye.
Villagrana?
Abstain.
Edwards?
Aye.
Upton?
Aye.
Martinez?
No.
Mayor Orr?
Aye.
Okay. 5 ayes, 1 abstention, 1 no. It's passed.
Huh? I don't know what you did to him, Paul.
Didn't write it in chat.
Yeah.
Must have not paid him.
Anything else? Mary?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Oh, I will, we did have our audit this last week, and Mike can probably speak to it, but overall, for the first time, them showing up, which is very detailed, they spend a lot of time, they look at the overall picture of the city, and it went fairly well, as far as I could see. I didn't have any conflicts or any disagreements with them. They seemed to be very,
They were good.
very thorough and very, knowledgeable of government work. So,
Very easy to deal with. They'll be bringing you the report in a couple of months, I would assume. They gotta go
Yeah.
back and finish up.
I know, it's gonna be-
So it looks like we're all gonna stay out of jail?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And we won't have to file for an extension.
yeah, we'll have it done on time.
Which is really nice. That means it's done now for you. Once it's done.
Pretty much.
Okay. Thank you, Mary. Council, any reports?
Oh, no, sorry. I just cleared my throat.
No reports from the council? Okay. The city
Planner?
city attorney?
Yeah, I'm in need of an executive session tonight to discuss 3 matters, either in litigation or headed that way. Coal Creek Water, Sumo, and the Dry Creek Flood Control Project.
Okay. City planner?
Try to stay in the 1 minute timeline that Mike gave me. Just the main thing is we had a Imagine Florence transportation meeting a couple weeks ago. We had speaker Doug Lollard from CDOT. We're trying to cement those relationships with DOLA and CDOT, and had a couple people, had a pretty good discussion about transportation issues and started setting priorities, and we're going to be working on this through the whole master plan and kind of setting our priorities. Obviously Front Street and some other things are going to be priorities that we need to get repaved, but he actually the next day sent me an email with everything that he'd heard from the meeting, and he copied the regional chief, Karen Rowe, and basically CDOT heard our concerns. I don't think he even knew where Florence was. He's an engineer from Colorado Springs. And so it was nice to get him exposure to Florence, and he summarized all the things that he'd heard in the meeting and put them back to the regional team at CDOT. And John Miller asked him a really good question that he put on there: why isn't signage on I-25 or on 50 in Pueblo or Colorado Springs? It says, Canyon City, but nothing says. Some of them even say Penrose, but none of them say Florence. He said, it's a good question. I don't know why we didn't do that. So he's going to be looking into that, and then